Kathleen Kennedy, stop ruining everything. But Kathleen Kennedy is all like, put another gay diverse woman in it, make it more f***ing lame. And the Disney stock just keeps going down and down and down. And then Bob Iger is all like, no, what's going on with that stock? No, Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh, honey, if you thought South Park had lost its bite, think again. The kings of satire are back, and this time they're coming straight for Disney's jugular. It's no secret, Disney has been spiraling lately, trying way too hard to stay relevant with woke remakes and cringy checkbox inclusivity. Gone are the days of magical storytelling. Now it's all about rebranding classics with awkward political flair, and folks are over it. One by one, Disney's nostalgic darlings are being chewed up and spat out by the PR machine, and guess what? South Park's not having it. Their latest special doesn't just throw shade, it launches a full-blown assault on the House of Mouse, and caught smack in the middle, none other than Rachel Zegler, the actress at the eye of the Snow White storm. Oh, poor Rachel. From day one, people have been side-eyeing the Snow White remake like it's some kind of slow-motion disaster. And honestly, it kinda is. The moment Rachel Zegler was cast, the internet lit up, and not in a good way. Let's be real, her attitude toward the original film didn't exactly win hearts. In fact, it straight up rubbed fans the wrong way.
I've already covered how Rachel Zegler's a terrible choice for Snow White. Nothing about her says Snow White, and that's even leaving aside the fact that she openly detests the story, as she's said many times during this disastrous PR campaign.
Now, let's not get it twisted. Most people are all for more meaningful diversity in film. Give us representation with soul and sincerity. But Disney's been serving something else entirely. Soulless, surface-level checklist casting. And baby, Snow White never stood a chance. Let's start with the obvious. Snow White's described as having skin as white as snow. It's literally in her name. So when Disney cast Latina actress Rachel Zegler, they knew they were striking a cultural matchstick, and boy, did it spark.
It's not white, but she should be. Snow White needs to be white.
But the casting, that was just the tip of this cursed iceberg. Disney didn't just update the story, they gutted it. They erased the prince, cut the romance, and the dwarves replaced with CGI abominations that looked like they wandered out of a low-budget video game, all in the name of progress. The studio claimed it was a modern reimagining, more inclusive, more sensitive, more empowering, but audiences weren't buying it. Trey Parker and Matt Stone saw the whole circus unfold and, in true South Park fashion, roasted it to a crisp. Their joining the Panderverse special took a blowtorch to Disney's awkward pandering, and didn't hold back one bit. As for Rachel, she didn't help her case either. The moment she landed the iconic role, instead of showing grace or gratitude, she pulled a full-blown PR disaster. She trashed the original film, called the love story creepy, and basically declared the prince to be a walking red flag. That's one way to tank fan goodwill.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
And then came the cherry on top. Rachel smugly told critics of the remake to simply not watch it. Girl, what? Oh, and remember Andrew Burnap, the actor playing the prince? Rachel publicly joked that all his scenes might get chopped. Yes, seriously. She said it with a shrug like it was just another Tuesday in Hollywood.
Really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood.
And here's where South Park's genius shines. They barely had to exaggerate. The disaster wrote itself. In joining the Panderverse, Eric Cartman wakes up in a reality where every classic character has been replaced by a woman of color, including himself. The satire is wild. It pokes at everything from Spider-Man's race swap to Indiana Jones getting gender flipped.
Okay, Ma, I had a dream that I was replaced by a diverse woman.
Oh, not again.
Yeah.
The school is chaotic, the boys are confused. PC principal enters with his usual smug grin, calling out the boys for not clapping hard enough at the new wave of tokenized characters.
I think it's perfectly normal that Cartman is suddenly a black woman.
You probably don't like that Indiana Jones got replaced by a female either, huh? Probably have a problem with Black Spider-Man, too.
And if you thought South Park would pull punches, oh no, darling, they cranked the heat.
Kennedy is down on set right now, ruining the new Bambi movie.
Any diverse woman in it, make it bad.
Bambi's a baby deer.
Fuck baby deer, put a chicken in, make her.
They torched Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy, labeling her the queen of disastrous reboots. And the internet, it exploded.
It's about the South Park thing.
Oh my God, dude. Jamie, have you seen the new South Park?
I definitely saw clips of it.
It is so funny. First of all, Cartman has been replaced by a black trans woman.
Elon Musk, Donald Trump Jr., and every conservative firestarter under the sun began praising the special, calling it brutally honest and hilariously accurate. But not everyone was laughing. Liberals were left squirming. Because yes, it's Cartman playing the voice of reason. That same Cartman who once tricked a kid into eating his own parents' ashes. That Cartman, that's South Park for you. They don't care who you are. They roast everybody. And this time, Disney marched right into the fire. The backlash to Snow White was so nuclear that Disney panicked. They hit pause and began reshooting scenes, even tried bringing the dwarves back. The CGI disaster got dragged so badly that even little people actors started speaking out about being robbed of opportunities.
Stereotype.
Right.
This is about roles that were made for people of my stature that don't have the chance to go out for other roles. No.
Let's talk about that horrifying first look at the digital dwarves. Instead of being cute and magical, they look like something out of a horror game. Uncanny, soulless, creepy. It was supposed to be charming. Instead, it turned into meme fuel and sent the movie straight into controversy again. And after all the drama, the world waited for Disney's next move. Would they go big and bold, own their mistakes, or slink off quietly? Well, they chose stealth mode. Instead of a grand premiere with flashing cameras, they whispered the film into theaters like it was a guilty secret. The big US screening, quietly held at El Capitan. The European rollout, shoved into some tucked-away castle in Segovia, Spain. And that promo video, spend the day with Rachel Zegler in Segovia, as if scenery would distract from the mess.
Waiting on a wing.
What was Disney trying to say? Please look at the pretty background, not the reviews. Because let's be honest, the soft launch screamed panic. No red carpets, no Hollywood glam, just whispers in the wind. This remake was supposed to be a bold, feminist rebranding. Instead, it became a PR cautionary tale. The biggest issue? Disney tried to surgically remove everything iconic from the original, and then act surprised when the magic vanished. You think they would have learned something from The Little Mermaid? Sure, Halle Bailey faced backlash, but the movie respected the heart of the original, so fans stayed on board. But this was a complete reboot of the soul. And Rachel Zegler, she gave South Park enough material to roast for years. She didn't just want to act in Snow White. She wanted to dismantle it. Her interviews weren't edgy. They were blasphemy to Disney diehards. The Daily Mail called her out for going on a woke rant. Variety said she trashed a beloved classic. Victoria Luxford of City AM compared it to cinematic treason. And honestly, they're not wrong. Disney doesn't just sell films. They sell nostalgia, pajamas, pancakes, and Saturday mornings, that feeling. So when the face of the reboot rolls her eyes at the original, yeah, fans feel betrayed. But Rachel wasn't done. She proudly declared that her Snow White didn't need saving. This version, she wanted a kingdom, not a prince. Gone were the romantic ballads. In came anthems about self-love, girl power, and dismantling the patriarchy. The message? Love is old news. Independence is the new fairy tale. Behind the scenes, Disney scrambled. Rumors flew that they even reached out to South Park's parent company to ask them to tone it down. But come on, this is South Park. That roast was already medium rare. And then came the final blow. Rachel Zegler didn't just face bad press, she walked into a living, breathing Hollywood nightmare. Imagine this. You're the star of one of the most controversial remakes ever, and opening night arrives. You've got your glam on, your crew by your side, and your fingers crossed that maybe, just maybe, people will show up. But when Rachel hit that theater on March 25, 2025, what she found wasn't a red carpet moment. It was a ghost town. She rolled in with her tight inner circle. Ilda Mason, Jorge Mason, Remy, and Maria Isabel de Masson, probably hoping to celebrate a triumphant premiere. Instead, the entire vibe was off. Dead silence, barely a soul in the building. And just when you thought it couldn't get more awkward, it did. Ilda Mason took to Instagram stories and screamed Rachel's name when her credit rolled, like she was trying to inject any sort of energy into the room. Meanwhile, Rachel smiled through it all, clapping and laughing like she didn't just step into a cinematic graveyard. You could see her trying to save face, pretending it was all good, but the empty seats, they told the real story. It's unclear whether the theater was privately booked or just that painfully empty. Either way, when you're the star and there's no audience, that's pure humiliation. And then there's this one photo, Rachel, standing there holding a bouquet of flowers. Not from Disney, not from the Academy, just a pity bouquet from her friends, a we tried gesture. Because let's be honest, there were no standing ovations coming from the box office, and the numbers, oh baby, they were brutal. Opening night previews, just $3,500,000, 0 cents. The full weekend, a bleak $43 million, 0 cents. For a movie that reportedly cost over $250 million, 0 cents to make, that's not a flop. It's a full-blown financial faceplant.
How much did this cost? They should get Doged looking at this movie. They spent $250 million making that movie.
Just to put it into perspective, The Little Mermaid remake made $95 million, 0 cents its first weekend. Even Dumbo, yes, the flying CGI elephant, nearly matched Snow White's numbers and with a way smaller budget. It was embarrassing. Social media lit up with photo after photo of completely empty screening rooms, sad little theater maps showing 1 or 2 green dots surrounded by blue, people watching the movie alone like it was a personal punishment. And then came the memes. Oh, the memes. People joked about starting a GoFundMe to help Disney recover their losses. Others made edits of Rachel singing "Someday My Audience Will Come" in a hauntingly empty theater. It was savage, and the internet wasn't done yet. As Snow White officially earned the flop title, the trolls did what they do best, pulled up the receipts. A clip surfaced, one that might haunt Rachel forever. It's young Rachel, starry-eyed and hopeful, staring right into the camera. She says confidently and sweetly, "Even with all my flaws, I hope people wait in line to see my movies." Oof, that didn't age well.
And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Fast forward to now, and the only lines being formed are on Twitter, where people are lining up to drag her. One user summed it up perfectly. "Welcome back to reality, princess. Snow White was a complete flop. No glass slippers, just shattered dreams." And then came Ian Miles Chong, the conservative provocateur who lives for this kind of disaster. He reposted that same viral clip with a not-so-subtle dig. Snow White now holds the title as Disney's lowest-performing live-action remake in decades. And you know what? He's not wrong.
This is really a bad movie, and I apologize to Walt Disney himself. I'm sorry.
People are now calling the film Snow White and the Seven Flops. And honestly, that title fits like a custom couture gown. Between the sky-high production budget, fan outrage, terrible optics, and awkward press tour where Rachel seemed to attack the very story she was hired to lead, this thing never stood a chance. It's the ultimate irony. The film that was supposed to reinvent Disney magic turned into a cautionary tale of what happens when you push too hard, too fast, and forget why audiences fell in love with fairy tales in the first place. And Rachel, she's now the face of that fall. Because let's face it, this wasn't just a movie flop. This was a moment, a loud, crashing moment in pop culture that made everyone stop and ask, has Disney lost its touch? And can Rachel Zegler bounce back from this? For now, the silence from the Mouse House says it all. And as for South Park, well, they're probably already writing the sequel to this mess, because when it comes to roasting Hollywood hypocrisy, they never miss. See, they never miss.